according to CNN, quote, there are deep schisms in Israeli politics that could threaten the longevity of the deal. Here to put this in perspective for us is New York Times foreign affairs columnist Thomas L. Friedman. He's a three-time Pulitzer Prize winner and author, among other books, of the bestseller From Beirut to Jerusalem. Tom, nice to see you. Let's have a big picture conversation initially. On November 26, you wrote that Donald Trump was entering a world, and you quoted an aphorism, there are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen. Explain, why did you refer to that?
Well, Michael, there are moments in Middle East history that are these plastic moments when everything is possible and everything is up for grabs. And this is one of those moments, after World War I, after World War II, after the Cold War, and this one. Israeli-Palestinian relations, Lebanon, Syria, they are all in play right now. And there's an opportunity for a Nobel Prize here if the president wants to pursue it. There's an opportunity for a Bibi Prize if we ignore it or fail at it. But this region that's been boiling for so long, there really is a chance now to reconstruct it and repair it in a way that will make it look a lot more like a European Union and a lot less like a Syrian civil war.
One part of the changes to which you've referred since Donald Trump was last in the White House, Iran. I'll put on the screen something that you wrote relative to Iran. In just the last 2 months, you said this in December, the Israeli military has inflicted a defeat on Iran that approaches its 1967 six-day war defeat of Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, full stop. Expand on that.
Well, basically, Iran lost its entire regional threat network that it had constructed at the cost of billions of dollars through Hezbollah in Lebanon, through Hezbollah and the Syrians, through Iraqi militias in Iraq, and through the Houthis in Yemen. It had created this sort of octopus stranglehold around Israel, and that's been broken. And that is not only to Israel's advantage, but to the advantage of the whole region. Because Iran's business model, Michael, was to create failed states in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, and then feed off those failures by implanting these pro-Iranian militias there for the sole purpose of fighting and dying against Israel so Iranians wouldn't. That's been broken. Iran also is in play right now.
So the approach of President Obama, in simplistic terms, was to try and put the nuclear capability or development on ice of Iran and bring them more into the Western fold. I guess the question that I would ask Tom Friedman as Donald Trump comes into office, is there opportunity that didn't exist before for a similar nuclear negotiation with Iran?
Yes, I think, and it's a very important question you're asking. Iran right now is militarily naked. Israel basically destroyed its air defense system. So more than any president, Donald Trump has the choice and the opportunity to militarily destroy Iran's nuclear facilities or to diplomatically end its nuclear program, but also it's really curtail its regional missile program and it's this use of proxy militias. I don't know which way Trump is going to go. My instinct is to avoid a big war that could cause a spike in oil prices and drive inflation, that Trump will try the military approach. But I think it is important to the future of the Middle East and to the future of the Iranian people that the Iranian nuclear missile program be ended. It's twisted the whole region. It's given Iran excessive and malign powers. And it's very important that militarily or diplomatically that Iran be out of that business.
Let's talk about which way Donald Trump, President-elect Trump, will go relative to Israel. Here's more of what Tom Friedman has recently written since Donald Trump's election. Quote, will it be the Trump who just appointed Mike Huckabee, a supporter of Israeli annexation of the West Bank, as his new ambassador in Jerusalem, or will it be the Trump who, with his son-in-law Jared Kushner, crafted and released the most detailed plan for a two-state solution since Bill Clinton's administration? And I should say, Tom, you made very clear in that writing that you don't think it's a final plan, but you think that it's a great conversation starter for which Trump is often not given credit.
Well, Michael, you know, the way I see it right now is that Donald Trump has an opportunity for and the aspiration for winning a Nobel Peace Prize. God bless him. It would be great if he could achieve that. His ambitions for a Nobel Prize are the fuse that blows up Benjamin Netanyahu's government, okay? Because the last thing Netanyahu wanted was this ceasefire deal. We know that. This could have happened a long time ago. He wasn't the only obstacle, Hamas was too, but he was a big obstacle. He wanted a forever war because a forever war is what keeps him in power and forestalls what is going to be a commission of inquiry on the failures of how this war even started, many but not all of which lie with him. So Trump had to force him to accept the end of this war. Now, going forward, what is the American interest is that you basically get Israeli troops out of Gaza and you extend the Palestinian Authority from the West Bank to Gaza. That's going to require the PA to get its act together, to install the kind of prime minister it needs, like a Salam Fayyad, and to invite in international Arab forces to help it govern Gaza. That is inimical to the interests of Netanyahu, who stays in power in large part due to the support of two overgrown juvenile delinquents, Ben Gvir and Smotrich. And they both have threatened to leave the government if Netanyahu permanently ends the war. So Trump's aspiration for a Nobel Prize is very soon going to clash with Bibi Netanyahu's aspirations for political survival.
Okay, so weighing all that you've just said, who then governs Gaza?
Well, basically it's an essential question. It's a difficult question, but the only way Gaza can be stabilized is if you force this weakened Hamas to allow an international force invited in by the Palestinian Authority from the West Bank, which has accepted the Oslo peace accords. It'll be difficult, but I think very possible. I think the people of Gaza are desperate for an end to the war and return to proper governance. Hamas would probably have to go along with it. I think it's the least bad option. They're all long shots. This region is completely broken, but that's where I'd start. And also remember, in Lebanon's just appointed a new president after over 2 years of a vacancy, and a new prime minister, Nawaf Salam. These are two terrific, decent, incorruptible guys, and they hold the promise of returning Lebanon over time with great difficulty, but with the possibility to its pluralistic origins. Fix Lebanon, you help fix Syria, you bring the Israeli-Palestinian conflict into some more stable situation. You have a different Middle East. This is the most plastic, best opportunity the region has had in many, many years to end what has been a series of civil wars.
Let's end with another big picture question. I'm limited on time. Donald Trump has spoken of being against forever wars and has sounded isolationist in many regards. So relative to his approach and how willing he is to engage on all of these subjects, Tom Friedman says what?
Well, I think what I'd say, Michael, is that this is almost a full-time job, a Secretary of State for the Middle East. And it will require a lot of political intervention by Trump, a lot of energy, and he's unpredictable enough to take some of this on, but it'll require a lot of focus. And I don't know whether he's up to it, his team's up to it. I hope they are, though, because this is really one of those amazing plastic moments where you could do amazing things for American interests and for the people of that region.
There's no one I would rather speak to than you about these matters. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it, Michael. Thank you.